It's the park and the environment and the people. And if I were to break those three things down, I kind of liken the park to a grandmother's quilt, and because this landscape is such a mosaic, not only an ecological mosaic, but also a human story mosaic of many, many different layers of stories. So the park is an incredible place to work and try to relate to people. The home front, we've got some acreage outside of town and have raised 3 daughters out on that acreage, and so we've done maple sugaring and splitting of our own firewood, and raised some horses and some chickens and eggs and things like that. So it's been a great place to live and raise a family. And then the third component of that is just the people of this area. And right now we're sitting in the Falling Rock Cafe, and this is, as many of you know, a tremendous place to meet the community.
It's a gathering spot, there's no doubt about that.
It sure is, yeah.
And so it being here in the park and everything, with the big lake sitting right outside here, what relationship or influence does the lake have on you?
Oh boy, it's every single day. I mean, the weather obviously is the first thing that comes to my mind with Lake Superior, because the lake creates a special kind of weather here in the central upper peninsula of Michigan. You know, lake effect snows and big storms rolling across the lake, and things that are known locally as seiches, where we have big pressure differences acting upon Lake Superior, where we'll have big fluctuations of water here in the Munising Bay. So, you know, obviously just the weather. I think a lot about the incredible food web of Lake Superior, you know, all the way from the top predators of the sea lamprey and the lake trout, all the way down to the little tiny diatoms that make up this food web out here. So, and then the landscape, you know, the watershed that surrounds the lake, and the forest and the dunes and creeks and rivers, things like that.
What concerns do you have for the lake?
I guess my greatest concern is that of climate change and the impact that our changing climate that we've had the biggest influence on in terms of the long-term health of the lake. Lake Superior surface water temperatures are rising faster than the air temperature is rising. We're seeing decreased or diminished length of winter season and winter season ice on Lake Superior. And so what all those, the implications of just those two things on the Lake Superior food web, I think could be very, very dramatic in the future.
What do you say to those who would say to you, well, there is no such thing as climate change?
I would just encourage them to just do a little bit of Googling on the internet, and just overwhelming evidence from a very, very large body of rigorous scientific endeavor. And the science all around the world is telling us that it's occurring, and not only that, but it's occurring more rapidly and in a stronger manifestation than many of the models had originally predicted. So I think we and our children and grandchildren are in for some very interesting times.
Yeah, I am concerned. As you know, our grandchildren are a big part of why we're doing this, and those future generations. I'm just frustrated by the people who are so greedy for their instant wealth and instant consuming of our resources that they're not worried about those future generations.
Yeah, you know, here in the United States, you know, we consume a third of the world's fossil fuel energy, and yet we're only a very tiny percentage of the total population, as most people know, on Earth. And so I think we've had our good days, and maybe pretty soon pay the piper. So.
Well, hopefully we'll be seeing people move more towards enjoying and appreciating what's out there before it's too late. I think there's time if people will pay attention to do something.
And it's really encouraging. As an example, the transition movement is beginning to be active here in Munising, and you know, people all around the world are beginning to recognize that our lifestyle can't really be sustained like the way we have like I grew up, as an example.
Yeah.
And so there's some bright clouds on the horizon.
Thank you, Greg.
All right.